What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. Hope everyone out there is doing well on a Thursday. Hope you guys are getting set for the two semifinal games coming up this week. Getting down that stretch now. We're about to see who's in the national championship game during the first ever 12-team playoff. So it should be interesting, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. Thoughts and prayers to everyone that's going through the events in California with the wildfires and everything. So hope everyone's doing well with that. Hope everyone is staying warm with the snow coming in. Like, man, the weather is really going crazy right now from everywhere, even here in Texas. So overall, guys, I hope you all are doing well and staying safe out there. As always, guys, we appreciate you all listening in to the show. Guys, you can listen to us on multiple streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So if you like the show, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's definitely important for us. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you all. And we're also on TikTok as well at the Breakdown Sportscast. You can listen to clips from some of our past episodes on the show. So as always, guys, we appreciate you all's support. Feel free to support us by following us on many of those streaming platforms out there. So, as always, we appreciate the support, guys. As always, who I'm with, guys. I am with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my brother?
Hey, man, nothing much, bro. Nothing much. Just, it's time.
It's time.
Yeah, we're gearing up for these semifinals. It's about to go down. Mm-hmm. The Ohio State Classic. So we'll see how it plays out. But we're going to get into all that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's it's been an amazing week. Heading up to these two semifinal games, Chris. I mean, we've seen some great games so far in this 12-team playoff. I know we're going to see some great ones in the semifinals as well. Can't wait, man. I think we're at the point in time where we can literally say the last remaining teams here, the last four teams, are the right teams. I think these teams have done a tremendous job at getting to this point, and we're about to see who's in the national championship and who's out. So it should be a fun week indeed.
Oh yeah, no, these teams they've been pretty consistent. They play some really good ball, mm-hmm. and they deserve to be at this spot.
Yeah.
So. We'll see how they play. We'll see the games they give us. But it's quite interesting that we have these teams that are central to the Midwest of the Midwest in our country. Your Penn State, your Ohio State, your Notre Dame, and then the SEC newcomer. They ain't even washed off the Big 12 stank off them yet. They fresh from the Big 12. Texas is the team representing the SEC. So it just shows you how all over the place college football is now. With the portal and the talent disbursement. Everybody battling the depth issues when it comes to the portal. You got some good backups and they go somewhere else to be a starter, so on and so forth. So I feel like the playoff is very reflective of where college football is today, Kory.
You're absolutely right, Chris. I mean, it's one thing about the portal and everything that entails with that. We'll have to kind of follow up on that on a future episode with all of that craziness. But yeah, it's definitely interesting in how college football has kind of taken shape now with the conference realignment. And this was, things we were also talking about in earlier episodes about, how geographically things would change over time with some of these teams, going into different conferences. So it's interesting to see how everything's unfolded. But it's definitely been entertaining, to say the least.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. And so hopefully they continue to entertain with the games that we're about to preview.
Exactly, man. Well, my friend, you all ready to get into some of these games that
Let's do it.
we're gonna have this week?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we will start off with the first semifinal game. Number 7 Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, will be taking on number 6 Penn State in the Capital One Orange Bowl, Chris. So I think this game is going to be very interesting. I think both of these teams have really good defenses. It'll be a really good defensive matchup, and I think Vegas looks at it that way too, Chris. Right now, they have Notre Dame as a 1.5 point favorite to win to win the ball game. Over under is at 44.5, and ESPN's matchup predictor has Notre Dame winning the game at 58.5%. So all the metrics are leading towards Notre Dame, just barely, Chris. We'll see what happens once both of these teams hit the field. I'm going to leave the floor to you, good sir. What are you looking at in this game particularly, Chris? Who do you think has the edge over who? And, who do you think is going to come out of this game on top heading into the national championship?
Yeah. So there's a couple things when you look at these two teams and you summarize their seasons and you look at it from a broader point of view, both have had great seasons. One thing, Notre Dame did have that slip up, the mishap against Northern Illinois, NIU. They bounced back from that. And then you have Penn State, who's, their big loss was to Ohio State in the regular season at home. And then this team also loses in the Big Ten championship game to Oregon. I don't really hold too much weight with those losses against them when you look at those two teams, and one of them, still in the mix to win a championship. But then you dig a little deeper and you think about how they are playing currently. I know Notre Dame won handedly against Georgia, but that game was a little closer than what the score reflects. There were some explosive plays that really put things out of hand for Georgia. I don't really feel like Notre Dame just really put it on Georgia. Like, they won the game, but there's some explosives that you really can't account for, and I don't think you necessarily would expect to replicate happening if they were to play again. So I'm leaning towards Penn State personally. I'm really curious about the quarterback matchup in this game. I think if you need a 4-minute drive, game on the line, I mean, it's not popular to trust in a James Franklin team, but I think Drew Allar is playing some really good football and has proven himself to be one of the better natural passers in the college football. And if there's a guy I want on the field in this matchup between him and Riley Leonard, who is very talented himself, but well, we will be remiss if we said he hasn't been passing the ball very well this season. Like, it's been lacking. That side of his game has been lacking big time for this offense. I think I'm leaning towards Penn State. Both teams have great defenses. Both teams have really good coaching staffs. I think if you're James Franklin, this is your moment. You're going against Marcus Freeman, who, respectfully, very young head coach, still new in the game. And yes, he beat Kirby Smart in Georgia, but I think James Franklin's someone who's been doing this for a long time now. When you think about his Vanderbilt days, you need this one. You need to take advantage of going up against a younger coach and elevate yourself, make that leap. And so I think this is Penn State's opportunity. I think it'll be a very close game. I think the Nittany Lions are set up to get a win in this one, even though a lot of the metrics are kind of pointing towards Notre Dame.
Yeah, no, I definitely get where you're coming from, Chris. It's something about this Penn State team, knee deep into the playoffs, where they're playing really good football right now. I say from a defensive standpoint, if you can look at all four of these teams that are left, um, all of these teams have really good defenses. I'd say Penn State has probably close to the most stingiest defense. Next up is more than likely Texas, followed by Notre Dame and Ohio State. But I won't still take that away. All four of these teams have really good defenses, but in particular, Penn State, I think they're here because of their defense. They wouldn't be here at this point without them. So I think that could definitely be their calling card, on top of what you had mentioned about Drew Allar in this game. I think when you look at him comparison to Riley Leonard, Drew's just been playing better ball and been more consistent through the air and with his legs when he needs to be that quarterback that you need to take you to a potential national championship. So I won't rule out Penn State. As a matter of fact, I'm putting Penn State, and I'm going to pin them as the top dogs in this game to win this game, just because of that. I think they have just a little bit more in them. Nothing against what Marcus Freeman and his team has done, but I just think Penn State has a little bit more in them.
I agree. I mean, I feel like I kind of trust what I'm seeing from them a little more. And that's not to say Notre Dame can't come out here and flip this game upside down and maybe even put it on Penn State. But I don't anticipate that happening. I think it's going to be a hard-nosed game. This is a Pennsylvania school going up against an Indiana school. Nothing flashy, just good old grinded out, hard-nosed football. That's what I'm expecting. So, and I think Penn State, after taking some losses to Ohio State, this team has faced some real adversity, and so is Notre Dame too. After you feel like the sky is falling in South Bend after losing to Northern Illinois, but I think Penn State has gone up against better teams, of course, playing in the Big Ten, and even though they haven't come away with wins in those games against an Ohio State or an Oregon, it sets you up to be ready for this moment as best as you can be ready for a national semifinal. So I lean towards Penn State, but it's going to be a great game. Notre Dame is nobody to overlook. And Marcus Freeman and his staff are putting in the work. They have impressed me throughout this season. to hold this group together after losing to an NIU is a testament to Marcus Freeman and his staff, and Marcus Freeman, the leader of men, for this team to not crumble and collapse. So we have to definitely put some respect on his name and give him some credit, because this team has risen to the occasion. And I would not be shocked if they found a way to continue to rise even higher, to play even better, and to come away with a win in this one.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It's going to be an interesting game for sure. I think both of these teams have, something very much to offer. Notre Dame and, destroying Georgia in the way that they did was impressive. I won't shy away from saying that. They definitely have an opportunity with them to beat a team like Penn State, who's had a really good season themselves. Almost had an opportunity to win the Big Ten Conference Championship this year. Just came up short against Oregon. But, I think Notre Dame has that opportunity just like Penn State does as well. I'm just looking at from what I'm seeing from the eye test and saying maybe Penn State has just a little bit, the slight upper edge outside of Notre Dame. So, but yeah, I think, at the end of the day, these games are won, on the gridiron. They're won on the football field. And, we're definitely going to see that coming up later this evening, for all you good folks listening to the show for this Thursday. So, yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to put in my score, Chris. I'm going to say Penn State wins this game 20-17 over the Fighting Irish. I think this game is going to be filled with a lot of defensive plays. It's just going to be a really big defensive game in the end, and it's gonna probably come down to a field goal or maybe a touchdown. But I think overall, I'm going to say 20-17 is going to be your score for this ball game, and Penn State advances.
Okay, I'm right there with you. I see it being a similar, tightly contested game. I think these offenses might wake up a little bit. I think it's gonna be rough in the beginning. I think it's gonna be a filling out process, and then we'll get that third quarter explosion. I'm gonna say 27-24 Penn State. A few more points on the board. Nothing too crazy. It's just a couple more scores, couple more field goals, mixed in with some touchdowns. But 27-24 Penn State. Walk-off game-winning field goal.
Okay.
For the Nittany Lions.
Okay. I like that.
We'll get the drama we won in our first semifinal game.
Nice. I don't mind that at all. I think that's a good fitting for the first semifinal game of the week before we head to Ohio State and Texas. So yeah, man, I think this game is going to be a doozy, as they say. I think we're in store for a really good football game, and yeah, man, I think this game, will come down to probably a field goal of some sorts, or late touchdown. I think it definitely has that cachet for that to happen.
I can see it too. I definitely can. Just you want to be the team that makes the least, the fewer amount of mistakes.
Yeah.
You want to be the clean football team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's going to be some moments where you're tempted to take some risk, and you might not want to take that risk. We'll see. We'll see. I think this is a game where being a little more conservative at some points might, suit you off a little better. We'll see how it plays out, though.
We'll see how it plays out for sure. Yeah, I can't wait to watch this game. Me and you are definitely going to be talking about it. Texting, of course, as it's going on and everything. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, Chris, so that's the Capital One Orange Bowl. Are you all ready to talk about the next semifinal game over in Dallas, Texas?
Let's do it.
All right. All right, folks. Well, now we're about to switch gears, and we're about to head down to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic happening in AT&T Stadium. This game, Chris, I've been waiting to see this game all week, and we're finally at that point where we're gonna see who's going to come out with the victory in this one. So, Ohio State right now, the spread is around 5 to 5.5, of course, in favor of Ohio State. So, and the over under is at 54.5, with ESPN having would you look at there, Chris? 50.6% ESPN has Texas coming out on top of this game in their matchup predictor. So 5.5 point spread in favor of OSU, and Texas winning with ESPN in their analytics system. So this is an interesting game, Chris. I'm looking at it right now as Ohio State has been scary good. No one seems to have an answer for Ohio State's offense and what they can produce out there with Jeremiah Smith. He's been playing out of his mind. We all saw him during the Rose Bowl. How's Texas going to stop a guy like him? That's kind of been my concern heading into this game, is how they're going to stop Jeremiah Smith. Yes, Quinn, for good, bad, or indifferent, he's played well, but he's also had those head-scratching moments that's kind of made you be like, how did we get here, Quinn? But in the end, Texas has found a way to win football games when they need it to. So, I don't know. I don't know who has the upper hand over who in this ball game, Chris. I guess we're just going to have to find out when both of these teams play on the field. I'm going to go ahead and give you the right of way, sir. What are your thoughts about this game? Because, we talked about Penn State and we talked about Notre Dame. It's going to be a great game. But this game, with the magnitude of what it entails, I don't know what's going to happen. So, what are your thoughts about this game?
I have an idea of who I think is the better team and what's going to happen. I'm telling y'all right now, I don't care what the spread is. Ohio State is covering. Texas, I haven't seen Texas. Texas best was against a UTSA earlier this year, a ULM.
Yeah.
In SEC play, their best game was against Florida without DJ Lagway. Most impressive game.
Yeah.
Texas is best I haven't seen against real high-level competition. This team has found ways to win, but I haven't seen their best against the best. I saw Ohio State make Tennessee look like they had no business being in the playoff and made Oregon look like a phony number one seed. I don't think nobody's best in the country compares to Ohio State's best. And Ohio State is a team that's peaking. And I think Ohio State is going to embarrass Texas. I think Ohio State wins handily, Kory. I think it's going to be the Jeremiah Smith show again. I think Golden will put up great numbers, but I think Ohio State will be too much for Texas. I think Quinn Ewers will put up great numbers, passing yards wise, because his team will be playing from behind and will have to try to keep up with Ohio State. The only way Texas really wins is if they dominate the time of possession and keep this Ohio State offense off the field.
Yeah.
That's the only way. You have to limit possessions in this game. But when you do that, you have to maximize your possessions. And Kory, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've watched a lot of Texas football, and this team, they can struggle to convert red zone scoring opportunities. That's been kind of an Achilles heel for Sark in his tenure at Texas. This team struggles to punch drives to capitalize. You can't do that against Ohio State if you want to win this game, especially if you're playing the time of possession game. So I think if it's a track meet, Texas is in trouble. And I think if it's a game where you're playing in the time of possession game, you try to slow it down, it doesn't suit your strong suit. So I think I'm rocking with Ohio State. I think this team, they might not have had a season like one of those dominant Alabama teams with the high-profile offenses, or 2019 LSU, or 2015 Ohio State, or anything like that. But this team at its peak, I think they get those teams to run for their money. So I think Ohio State is peaking. I think it's going to get ugly. I'm going 42-21 Ohio State in this one.
Wow. Look, I gotta tell you, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I had to go ahead and pretty much get Ohio State out of the way. Jeremiah Smith, and we've talked about him on this show constantly. The way he's been playing in this playoffs, scary good. This guy is dangerous right now for any team out there. No matter how good your defense is, I'm going to say Ohio State wins this game heavy too because of him. How are you going to stop a guy like Jeremiah Smith, who's just been running rampant this whole playoff? It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be an easy task at all. I mean, look at what Texas did against Arizona State. They allowed a guy, say what we want to say about Cam Scatterbo. Guy's a baller. They allowed that man to go off in beast mode late in the third and fourth quarter to get them into overtime. And that's just Cam Scatterbo. When you have a guy like Jeremiah Smith, you know, and Emeka Egbuka,
they got a couple Scatterbos.
Yeah, they got tons of them. I mean, you know, Travion Henderson right now playing really good football as well in the running back position, as well as Quinshon Judkins. This team is clicking. If you're Texas, you got to be all hands on deck if you're trying to win this ball game to reach the national championship. You can not allow any mistakes, or not that many. You're going to have to almost play Nick Saban, Alabama Crimson Tide football if you want to beat these guys. So, you know, I'm with you all the way, Chris. Ohio State's scary right now. You know, if Texas really wants to make it a game, they're going to have to limit their own mistakes. They're going to have to be very, very efficient in the red zone. We know Sark wants to be there. Look, the guy has a massive playbook, Chris. We know that about him. But you know, you got to be tearing your hair out each and every week watching this team when they hardly can't capitalize in the red zone in the way that they have been this season. So, you know, if they can do that, they have a shot. Texas definitely has a shot. They have a lot of great players on the team. Golden is good. You know, Bond has been playing really well. You know, this is a really good team. They're gonna have to also hold on to the ball if they're going to be honest with that Ohio State defense. You know, we can talk about how Jaden Blue has been kind of coughing up the football here and there this season. So Blue and Wisner is going to have to play a really solid game on the ground as well if they're looking to seal the deal and move on to the national championship. But overall, if I had to put a stamp on it, Ohio State wins this game, Chris. For me, I'm going to say Ohio State wins 45-35 over the Longhorns. I do think Texas is going to try to make this a game as much as they can because they have players. But overall, when you are Texas and you've kind of played and pity patted around with people a little bit here and there, and you're about to take on a team that is really, really mad right now and really on this mission of success at Ohio State. This isn't going to be easy by any stretch of imagination. So yeah, I'm looking at this game. What would I say? 45 Ohio State.
And Texas 35.
35. Yep. Texas 35. Yep. I'm gonna stick with that one. Because I think overall it's gonna be a good game. But only one person can win at the end of the day, and I think Ohio State has the upper hand over Texas. So that's what I'm gonna lock it in as.
I'm not mad at that. That could very well happen. I just think Ohio State's on another level. I said it when we started the podcast. I think this is the Ohio State Classic.
Yeah.
I think it's Ohio State's world, and everybody's just living in it. This is our preseason prediction to win the national championship. And this was the team we were expecting to get in the regular season. Didn't see it, but we're seeing it now when it matters most.
Yeah.
And so this is the team that is an all-time talented team. You look at the roster up and down, it ain't nothing but 4 stars and 5 stars. Hell, you got to be a 3-star to be a preferred walk-on. That's just what they're doing at Ohio State. This is the best team money can buy. They went out here and bought your Caleb Downs. Got your Travion was already on the team, but you bought your Quinshon Judkins. You bought your Will Howard. This team is hitting the recruiting trail. Jeremiah Smith, 5-star recruit out of Miami Gardens, Florida. They've done everything right, whether it's in high school recruiting or getting the cream of the crop in the portal. So I'm gonna just have to see this team lose. I can't pick against them. I think they're going to put it on Texas. Texas is a team that's built talent-wise to give them a game. Definitely will note that, but I don't know if this Texas team has it in them to execute at the level that's needed against an Ohio State team that is executing at a high level. Texas hasn't proven that this season against top-tier competition. So I'm taking that into consideration. That's why I think it might get ugly. So, yeah, but I'm with you, though. Give me the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I just I just look at them and I'm just saying, like, man, they're very scary right now. Like, Oregon got stomped at the Rose Bowl by this team.
Yes.
And Oregon had a really good season. They went.
I thought that was the national championship game coming into the playoff.
Absolutely, yeah. You definitely said that on this show. So, Ohio State took that team to the woodshed. What do you think is going to happen to you potentially, Texas? With the way that you've been playing, the Arizona State game we learned a lot about that team. Can they put teams away when it matters. They kind of showed us no, they can't. They kind of need a lot of luck when it comes down to that. They're going to need a luck, some prayers, everything heading into this game because, when you had all of those chances to, finish the game the way you needed to against Arizona State, you didn't capitalize on it. This is going to be a lot different. This team is not playing. So, get your big boy bridges on, Texas. It's gonna be a 60-minute game. I mean, we always hear coaches talk about play for 60 minutes. It's gonna be one of those games.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you better hope you can. You better hope you were having to play for a full 60. Ohio else they can do some things to you that make you that make that latter half of the 60 not matter. So
exactly.
So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, Texas has to play their best game of the season for them to win.
Exactly. So yeah, man, it should be a fun game indeed. I can't wait to see this game. This game is coming up this Friday. On ESPN. Both games will be on ESPN. So, guys, definitely tune in to both of these semifinal games where we're at the end. We're almost at the end. We're about to see, who's in and who's out of the national championship. So, we'll definitely see, Chris, what happens, what unfolds, and we'll be back here on the Breakdown Sportscast to kind of break it all down and give our thoughts about what happens in both of these games.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, Chris, folks, this is another great episode, of course, talking about the semifinal games. Outro, sir, because this is a little bit of a shorter show. I mean, we're near the end, of course, but outros, good sir. Let the good people know where they can find you on social media.
Yes, sir. You can find me on X at Chris_Bolton_12 and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy. We talking everything, college football, pro football. The playoffs start this weekend. We got college basketball, NBA, WWE, Raw on Netflix was lit. Yeah, you got SmackDown on USA now. WWE was the Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It was turned up, man. Oh boy, I feel like a kid all over again just watching that on Netflix. They really pulled out all the stops.
Yeah.
I mean, it had all the legends in attendance. We was just missing Stone Cold, and he was supposed to be there.
Oh,
that's who we was missing.
Yeah,
that would have been the cherry on top.
Exactly. Well, we got the Royal Rumble coming up and everything, Chris. You got to bring Stone Cold,
and you know who's going to be in it? John Cena.
John Cena's getting in it. He's looking at potentially winning number 17.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
I think he's going to make a run for the belt. I think he's going to make a run for the belt. I really do. I don't know if he's going to win it, but I think potentially they'll have him going up against a Rhodes or a Gunther. Something like that's going to take place. I think we see the inner makings, the hints, the seed being planted for a Cena farewell title run.
Yeah, that's what it's feeling like. So this whole season, Chris, WrestleMania season, that's what they call it. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be exciting. I can't wait for the Rumble. I always love the Royal Rumble, and just that road.
February 1st.
Yeah, I think so.
February 1st.
That road to WrestleMania is always entertaining. So I can't wait to watch it, man.
Nothing like it.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it, indeed, sir. So yeah, man, yeah, folks. Definitely follow Chris on there. He's talking about all the great sports. On the gridiron, on the court, in the rings out there. So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
follow him on there. Yeah, folks. You can follow me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football. College basketball is well in season now, well in form. My Mississippi State Bulldogs are playing exceptional basketball right now. Chris will agree as well, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. If only they can finally beat Kentucky this Saturday.
Yes.
And they get over the hump. At the hump.
Pun intended, sir. No, I agree with you, man. That game is going to be massive. I can't wait to watch that game. So yeah, guys, definitely follow me on there. But yeah, overall, guys, like I said, we appreciate you all listening to the show. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show, and follow us on any of your favorite platforms out there. It's definitely beneficial for us. And yeah, guys, it's definitely I think it's great for you guys to experience the show on any of your platforms out there. So definitely follow us, like, comment, and subscribe on there. But until next time, guys, I'm Kory Willis. He's Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We will chat with y'all later on. Peace.
Peace.